Hey guys, thank you for joining me for yet another episode of Just Another Talking Head. I am just another talking head. Thank you for having me. I got my day labor fit on today. Maybe that's an offensive joke. I don't mean to be offensive. But for people living in the Southwest, they've figured out how to dress for the Northeast. So, they might take over the planet. Anyway, moving on. Fallout New Vegas content. I've been lacking in it a little bit. That's intentional. And I'll get into that in a little bit of the next video. It's not that I'm trying to distance myself from Fallout New Vegas, but there's a reason for it, and we'll get to it later. But for right now, I promised a New Vegas video. We're a New Vegas channel here. It's a Fallout New Vegas purist channel. If you're a Fallout New Vegas purist, you are in the right place. If you hate Fallout 4, if you hate the Todd Howard, Emil Pagliarulo oligarchy that runs Fallout now, you are in the right place. I am with you, brother. Fallout stopped at New Vegas. It goes 1-2 New Vegas. That's my worldview. That's all there is to it. Anyway, I think I realized the problem, and I think I realized the divide. I think there's a reason for why I feel that way, and why other fans, perhaps like yourself, feel that way, and why there's this modern Fallout. Like, why is there children playing a Fallout phone game? Why is the leading Fallout game right now, and I say leading meaning like it's the one that's out being updated, Fallout 76. I mean, what, that came out in 2018, so that game's old as shit, and then on top of it, it's not even an RPG, it's like a card collector. And I played hundreds of hours in it. I'm not trying to trash you if you like 76. I know there's a different way to make a build and you have to manage that build. And then when Bethesda decides your unarmed build is going to get nerfed, well, you're without a paddle at that point. That sucks. So, I have my own reasons for not liking 76 other than it's like an infantilization of the Fallout series. I mean, I played as like a killer clown, emaciated Joker type character that only punched people. So I wasn't helping the lore. I wasn't being a lore friendly character, but that's because Fallout 76 isn't a lore friendly game, in my opinion. So that brings us to the topic. What is lore friendly? Well, there's a TV show out right now for Fallout. That's canon. That's deciding the lore going forward. I say that begrudgingly, but that's the reality of it. Bethesda owns it. It's Hollywood. We're in the era of Epstein Fallout right now. I just saw an email that like microtransactions may have been an Epstein suggestion to the CEO of Activision or founder of Activision or something. I mean, what information's even real anymore? I don't know who's Epsteining who anymore. But let's just assume that Epstein led the game industry for a second, because that's what I'm doing. Modern Fallout is a direct result of Epstein, then. That's all you have. I mean, I got, you can argue that I have such a hate boner for TK Mantis and Oxhorn, and the reality is I've never really seen their content. I just remember being like, not even an adult yet. I remember being 17 when Fallout 4 came out, and I was like, damn, I don't like this Fallout. I got it as a gift, and I was going through a real rough time in my life. Fallout 4 should have been a gift from God at that point in my life, and maybe it's like, well, okay, Fallout 4 wasn't your savior, boy. Like, you can't be mad at the world for that. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, Fallout 4 was like, you know what? I'm never going to be able to put in the words, like, what Fallout 4 was in my mind mentally before it came out, because of how obsessed I was with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and how those had kind of completely encapsulated my adolescent years. Like, and I'm not like trying to like neat flex, or not neat flex, but like neckbeard flex. I don't know. I was a big nerd for Fallout. I wasn't doing what other like tweens were doing. I wasn't doing what other like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 year olds were doing when I was that age, because those years were Fallout to me. So when someone's like, "Oh, I'm just as big of a Fallout fan as you," I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to gatekeep. Maybe we should gatekeep Fallout. Actually, that's probably why we're at this point in time. The point, to finish the other point, what I'm saying is that Fallout is, it's a part of my brain. Have you ever looked at like a phrenology diagram or like a modern like neurology diagram, and there's centers of the brain. Some dedicated to language, some dedicated to quick thinking, some dedicated to motor functions and what have you. I think this section, this one right here, it's been pirated. I have a parasitic relationship with Fallout, specifically New Vegas. It's in this part of my head right here. If you open it up, there's like a little GameCube disc somehow with Fallout New Vegas on it. Not really. With my other posts that I put on this channel, some people may think I'm being serious there. But, I love Fallout New Vegas. I loved it like I don't think any man has ever loved any game, other than maybe guys who have built it. They're going to love the game in a different way. But as far as somebody who like played a game, got to experience the game, I'd love to make a video where I rehash what the day one release was, to me like a 13-year-old, and then going over the circumstances in my life around that and why that like that moment probably, It's probably why I'm alive. So New Vegas is it's very important to me. I'll put it that way. And seeing it just kind of get like used as a set piece in the modern TV show honestly breaks my heart. Call me dramatic, call me a dork, call me what you will, call me inarticulate, call me unfocused, whatever. I don't care. I mean, that's honestly how I feel. I'll defend it. I'm not trying to say this to farm for views or subscribers. This channel loses subscribers. I don't know if you know. Since my last posting, I think I lost like 4 or 5. Like that's how it goes. Actually, I lost 1. I'm exaggerating. The human brain does that. I'm prone to exaggeration. I try to calm myself out in the moment, though. I lost 1 subscriber, and it's definitely for schizo posting, and it's arguably deserved. But that's art. Art doesn't make everybody happy. A product makes everybody happy. And that's the problem. Back to Fallout. Like I said, I'm trying so hard to stay on track here, but it all goes back to Fallout, doesn't it? All roads lead to Caesar's Rome. But what I'm saying is that, like, modern Fallout is a product. It's not art anymore. There's art elements being thrown at you. Hey, here's a Vault Boy. Here's a Vault. Here's a Pit Boy. Do you remember Stimpaks? How about T60 Power Armor? T45? Ooh, do you remember the Enclave? I mean, fans know about it. All the fans love that stuff. I mean, that was always a part of Fallout. You're just the chud. And I try to avoid the word chud because that has like sort of like racial and like, maybe connotations of misogyny and whatnot. I'm not trying to bring any of that. I'm not like trying to like declare war on the woke because nobody can even define. I don't care about all that like 2015 to 2023 bullshit. It's not my zone. I'm telling you what I like. And what I liked about Fallout is I like the gritty 50s-ness of it. I watched a movie last night, a John Wayne flick from 1959. It had Dean Martin in it too, so it's a New Vegas movie. Go and watch this. I watched it. My fiance saw a clip from it and heard, Karen Boomer Facebook feed, and she saw a clip from this movie, I guess a Dean Martin singing. She had no idea who Dean Martin was. And then she's like, you'll see the scene that I saw online when it comes, I'll tell you when it comes up in the movie. And this movie's like 2.5 hours long. It's a long one. But that movie was more Fallout than any little clip I've seen of the Fallout show. I won't watch the Fallout show because the show wants you to hate watch it. There's so many shows that come out and like what I don't even know how like Netflix or Amazon Prime makes money off of these TV shows. Like I don't know how like you watch it and then like what do they make money if you give it like a thumbs up or a star? I don't even know how that works. Like same thing with Netflix. I don't know how people get paid. I don't know how we generate whether or not that was profitable. And I don't know how Netflix makes money from it. Well, I guess there's ads now on like lower, Netflix and whatnot, and we have the ad plan. But we didn't watch this movie on Netflix. I don't know how we saw it. Something on Roku. In either case, you have this movie, Rio Bravo. It has silly moments like classic Fallout did. There's a scene, I'm going to spoil the movie, where they get a chance to surprise attack a bad guy, and they do it by throwing some kind of explosive. Like, they allude to it being like dynamite, nitroglycerin gas, a bunch of explosive, nasty stuff. And John Wayne, he's having his buddy huck it towards the house, and with a lever-action rifle, he's shooting it, right before it hits the ground. So he's doing like airburst artillery on this house, and they're chuckling about how well this plan works. And effectively we're doing guerrilla warfare, but they're laughing about it. That's Fallout humor to me. It's not like I put sand in the water purifier and it's not turning in the water. Want to make my cock explode? Like, I don't know. That was really annoying to hear, so I'm sorry for that. But, like, that's how the show comes off to me. I know that's not what they're saying, but that's how my brain perceives it. It's like, hey, little sideshow skit out of your favorite game that you loved and you grew up with. And you, like, don't take anything too seriously. So, like, don't even take Fallout too seriously the way I took it too seriously, but you can still have respect for a setting. So what I'm saying is you have Rio Bravo. It's this serious movie. Guys still talk 50s. They're not saying, hey, want to make my cock explode? There's a romantic scene, and there's a very 50s way of going about it. It's an extremely horny scene. The sexual tension is there, but it's 1959. It's not 1973. They can't just jump into it. So there's like a lot of horny dialogue between John Wayne and this much younger woman. And you can think, whether that's creepy or not, or however which way you want to go about that, whether that's based or creepy to you. That your opinion's your own. You can make, whatever you want to say about that in 50s movies. But what I'm getting at is that's the 50s environment. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not even talking about, like, the incest or interracial stuff that's, like, in the Fallout TV show that I've heard about. I don't really know the context of it. But I know a lot of people are upset about it, and I've seen some memes of it. And it's not even that, like, that existing isn't the 50s-ness of Fallout. Like, yeah, sure, that can happen in setting. I'm not saying it can never happen. It's that all that happened in the 50s in real life, absolutely. But I'm saying Fallout has an aesthetic of what was like publicly seen in the 50s. And you still have like some of that like that 50s carryover is still in Fallout 1 and 2. Like even tough guy characters. Like I can't remember his name because I'm not an isometrics Fallout guy. I've already admitted to that. I'm a 3 in New Vegas guy, and I don't even defend 3 anymore because it's Bethesda slop. And yeah, I'm using the buzzword. Yeah, Fallout 3 made me fall in love with RPGs and Fallout in general, and I thank it for that, but it's still got Emil Pagliarulo writing, and it sucks. I mean, like, it crawled so that New Vegas could sprint and get underpaid for it. But, that's a story for another time. Though I do want to throw it out there. I am OG enough to know that a big opinion at the time when New Vegas came out is that it was a $60 mod for Fallout 3. And I'd like to throw that out there, that when New Vegas came out, a lot of what I saw in the community was against it. But the community and the idea of a community was very different in 2010 as well. Anyway, moving on. So this movie, Rio Bravo, it had this 50s all the way through. I just want you to watch it. And that's the feel Fallout 3 had to me as an 11-year-old. I was like, this is like the movies my grandpa watches. Like, it's science fiction. It's firmly in the future. And it's still, like, pulling things. It's still, it's doing references, and there's still silly moments, but it wasn't, like, so super goofball silly moments. It was, like, one little silly line can get thrown in. Like in System Shock 2. If you ever beat System Shock 2, another spoiler, the unvoiced, the silent protagonist does say one thing at the very end of the game, and that's when given a deal, the cliche deal you can't refuse from the bad guy, he goes, nah, as like the AI screams in terror, not believing that he would choose like, potential oblivion over, the ability to be like some god slave or something. But, anyway, without getting too deep into that game, where am I going with this? Fallout is vibes. It's not just vaults. It's not just throwing a gulper in there. It's not just throwing in power armor or a stim pack. It's not doing a promotional meal with Dave's Hot Chicken and go, see, that's a stim pack. Like, I don't know. I saw a video, and I wish I could remember the guy's name. He seems to be a YouTuber that does pretty well for himself, over 100K subscribers. But, he's like talking about metal. And he put out a video, it came up in my algorithm, and it was talking about the Disneyification of metal. And that's like, that reminded me to like 2019 when I was talking about the Fortniteization of games. And I'm sure I came up with that term on my own. I didn't take it from somebody, but I'm sure other people have come up with that in the meantime. But every game post-2018 became Fortnite, including Fallout 76. I mean, that's got like a battle pass with like a Fortnite, style thing, and you run through it, or at least it did for a while when I was playing it. And then they got rid of that and somehow made that worse too. I mean, this is postmodernism. I'm sure someone's come up with that, but that's another term I kind of came up with. Like, if postmodernism is like modernism taken to its logical conclusion point with all the hiccups that come with it, then postmodernism is like the overcorrection of that, and I firmly believe that's what we're living in, both in gaming and in general. The thing is, though, where's the overcorrection for Fallout? It's just driving right off a cliff in my mind. We're leaning more into like this, like, I accused it in the past of saying I hate it because of millennial writing, and saying I hate it because of like, it's trying to be like a Quirk Chungus. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then, the Funko Pop, I avoid this because there are cool vegetarians out there, but, like the soy boy, soy face, whatever you want to call it, that culture. And I'm not helping as I hold a dunk, and I didn't buy this, by the way. This was a gift, but I'll have you know. But look at that order. That's not a masculine order. So, I'm self-aware here. YouTube hates that. YouTube hates nuance, but I'll give it to you. Algorithm and... I was going to say subscribers be damned, but no, I don't want you guys to be damned. I mean more so subscriber count. It's going down. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I was going to title this video, How the Fallout Show Could Have Avoided Pissing Off Us Hardcore Fans. But I realize us hardcore fans have been left in the dust since Fallout 4, or since before that even, with Fallout 3. I mean, the whole Oblivion with Guns statement could have been the beginning of the end. But Fallout 3 did such a good job curating this 50s-ness, this 50s-esque environment. I don't know how else to put it. The hairstyles, like, it doesn't even make sense sometimes. Like, Talon Company has secretaries that look like they came straight out of 1946 to 1959. Like, and that's great. And that's what I'm talking about. And to me, that's Fallout. And if you're saying, hey, well, that New Vegas kind of walked that back by bringing in, like, some of the AR style platforms, some of the cult like AR style platforms, like the All American, the Assault Carbine, and then even like the survivalist rifle, the service rifle, those sort of things. Some people say the '50s look got walked back, and Fallout 4 did it better with the weird Bioshock submarine shaped guns. I don't know. And then at that point, that's like, well, pragmatic Art Deco or like Art Deco at all costs. If Art Deco is even the right word, maybe like Atomic Age aesthetics. And then we have this whole debate over what '50s is. So, like, I get how Fallout got to the point where it's at now. And I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't like the polished, it's so shiny, everything's buttercream yellow and chrome. The worst part. Like, I don't know. I just like, I don't like that. Like, I like that that's an aesthetic that's in the past of Fallout. But it's like, there's some parts of the pre-war that don't fit the apocalypse they insist on being there. And then there's some parts that are so apocalyptic but don't fit the '50s culture they insist on being there. So, like, I don't get it. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, even in, like, Fallout 3 New Vegas, you got characters with, like, mohawks. And maybe you'll find you'll probably find, like, a Native American or something in the '50s with a mohawk. Or maybe I'm just, like, an idiot and there's going to be white guys with mohawks. Maybe there was, like, a proto-punk movement. I don't want to I don't want to, like, chase the wrong thread or split the wrong hair here. But do you feel what I'm talking about? Like, fire up a comment if you do. Like, there's the gritty '50s. There's, like, the neo-noir, not even neo-noir, just noir. Just like, yeah, this street will do things to a man. Things I don't want to talk about. I don't know. Like, there's that element of the '50s. Here, I'll put it this way. If you have, like, the do you want to make my cock explode Brotherhood of Steel guys, then how does the Nick Valentine character make sense? And if the character is really, like, Fallout 4 bored me to death to the point where I never even finished Nick Valentine's story. So if he's a program, like, if he's a character put into a robot, if they really did that cliche, then Fallout 4 is far gayer than I thought it was. I'll just put it that way. But, like, the Nick Valentine character, like, it doesn't make sense for there to be noir detectives, '50s noir detectives, if nobody actually talked like that. Like, if that was just a cultural element. I guess that's what I'm looking for, is that, like, that transatlantic, high pants, little tie, weird haircuts, just always sweaty. Like, that's the '50s. That's the like, that's the look. Little snub-nosed revolvers, not shooting them right. Fallout 3 did that right. Fallout 3, you shoot a pistol like this. Crack, 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 crack. And then maybe, if you do this, your character model will aim. He'll aim properly. Maybe it even lines up with the sights. But meanwhile, you aim like this in first person, this is going to be difficult. But it goes like... And I'm sure you know that if you played Fallout 3 or if you played New Vegas, and I think you can disable iron sights in New Vegas, or at least there's a mod for it if you'd want that for some reason. So, like, I don't know, there was effort put into that '50s look. The kids behaved like, kids in '50s TV shows would behave. And it just seems like they're moving away from that. It seems like it's just like, it's a white trash, idiocracy, Mad Max world. It's an American Mad Max that's like half idiocracy with, like, elements of Fallout. You still get the Pip-Boy, you still get cowboy shit, you still get ghouls, you still get, you get all your buzzwords, you get all your, I think Synthetic Man, very angry guy. I'm not denouncing him, but, very upset, but, he's doing a lot of heavy lifting and criticizing the show. Encouraged me too, so there's that. Not on a personal level, I just saw one of his videos, but nobody was criticizing the Fallout show, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I should. So I don't know, the Fallout show feels more like the Borderlands show than a '50s TV show, and I feel like it's the '50s TV shows that inspired Fallout. And if that's hard to follow, I guess what I'm saying is that I liked the Fallouts that I liked, 3 New Vegas, even the isometric originals, because the source material was old media. It was golden age American media. And now the source material for Fallout is Fallouts. It's Fallout 4. You want to make a TV show on Fallout, you look at Fallout 4, that's a pretty good template, and now you got the TV show you got. So I guess Fallouts are better when they're based off of not other Fallouts, but by the time period that they're sort of trying to either A, parody or capture, depending on your perspective. And I'm not saying humor has no place in Fallout, and I'm saying raunchiness or lewdness doesn't have any place in Fallout. It does. It has a huge place in Fallout. And like I said, don't even start barking about me about, like, whatever lewd and gross stuff is in Fallout 1 and 2. Like, that's part of reality, the lewd and gross stuff. So it should be part of any setting, in my opinion. If you want it to be there. If you want it to be a strictly safe-for-work setting, or especially, like a kid's media, then obviously it doesn't belong there. But you get what I'm saying. I don't know. infantilization of Fallout isn't the right word. Polishing isn't the right word because that implies it's improving. It's this sort of Fallout has taken on an aesthetic I don't like, and I get that because it takes me back to the day that Skyrim. I got a copy of Skyrim. I don't know if it was for Christmas or what, or my dad was financially doing well, and I got a copy of Skyrim. And I remember I wasn't into the fantasy setting. I liked Fallout at this point in time. I had already played New Vegas, the DLCs that were out and everything, having a great time. And I'm like, my friends are trying Skyrim. I'm seeing a lot about Skyrim. I was watching the Manslayer Machinimas at the time about Skyrim. I'm like, I want to play Skyrim. And I don't know if that timeline exactly fits, but I remember just like, it's a Bethesda game, I'm playing it. Didn't really like Oblivion, tried it prior to that point, but I'm like, I'm going to try Skyrim. I got to the game store, and there's a guy probably about my age now, late 20s, but I'm a child at this point. I'm 14. And he's like, oh, yeah, a lot of people been buying this. My dad's like, yeah, it must be really good. And he goes, yeah, well, it's better for a lot of people. It's better for kids. It's better for families. But I like the old ones. And I remember we bought the game, we're walking out, and my dad's like, oh, that guy was a nerd, huh? And I was like, yeah, I wonder why he was upset. And I'm that guy now. And it's not even like being upset. It's just like the sort of sadness that you accept of like, oh, this isn't my thing anymore. This was my thing. They were making this for me. And now they're making this for somebody else. And you're either with it or you're against it, and that's just all there is to it. So that's my relationship with Fallout. And that's why it's like, I can't stop talking about it. And you got all this other stuff going on in the world. You got Epstein. You got America doing all kinds of, God knows, unjustified wars. And, what aren't they talking about? Like all the evil you see in the world, and then all the evil you don't see. And you want to talk about Fallout? Yeah. I mean, I'm sincere. I'm not going to talk about what I don't care about, and I'm not going to view farm. I'm not going to subscribe farm. I talk about what's on my mind. And New Vegas is on my mind a lot. And when I see it kind of getting twisted into something different than what I remember, and people going, oh yeah, I like that too. Something, and then they just like regurgitate something completely different, or, like some meme that they don't even really understand. It's bitter to gatekeep, but I'm just saying I understand gatekeeping now. And maybe if Fallout was gatekeeped a little bit better, we wouldn't be here. But also, when you gatekeep even a little bit, you look like a sad nerd at a game store. So, I don't really worry about how people look at me. I do what I want to do. But, that's... Yeah, if you feel the same way, like and subscribe. I don't know. I don't really know what my point is. I guess I just want to see if others feel the same way. Do others feel like Fallout just went in the wrong direction? Do you like that 50s noir look over what it became? Or do you just think I'm wrong and it did get the 50s noir look and you really don't know what I'm confused about? And if so, let's chat about it in the comments. I don't script anything. I talk from the hip, and sometimes I remember things later that where I'm like, oh, it's like real life arguments. It's like, oh, I wish I said that in my video. But, it is how it is. There's a real humanity to the way I want to do this. Despite the fact that there's a few shorts I made in there for fun. But, we're trying to keep things as simple as human as possible. A live internet theory. Let's make the internet alive. What's that religion where people think that everybody else is fake and they think they're God? I'm pretty open to all religions, but those is like, well, I want to give you proof that there's reality outside of you. What is that word? I know Kanye believed in it for a little bit. Not that that's somebody you should listen to all the time. It's just an insane, sad man. I guess not entirely different from myself, but you know the word I'm looking at, though. It's not a solipsism. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I just want to, I want to give, solipsists some food for thought, for the very least. You're not the only person that exists. Not really. That's a stupid claim to end on. But you guys know my style. Not everything has to have big impact. Not everything has to have some big grand ending and mic drop. Sometimes I'm just gonna chat with you guys, spit out some thoughts, sip my coffee, and shoot a video dressed like this right after. And yeah, it's. Why are this? If you're wondering about the spears, if you're absolutely new here, yeah, it's a Caesar reference, the real Caesar, not Macaulay Culkin. I guess is Caesar now. That's what I'm talking about. If you feel like the world left you behind, you're just like me. Not quite. I don't know. Can I articulate anything in the moment? Yeah. It's time to stop talking though. You see, when I start doing this, when I can't put a point together, it's time to shut up. So I'm gonna shut up. That's flow. That's Taoism. Peace out, guys. I'll catch you later.